When did the monopoly on note issuance begin in currency evolution? Have you ever wondered how we got to the point where only certain banks can create money? The story of the monopoly on note issuance is quite fascinating. It all started in the 17th century when early central banks began to take shape. The first recognized central bank was the Swedish Riksbank, founded in the year 1668. Its main purpose was to lend money to the government and act as a clearinghouse for trade. Just a few years later, in the year 1694, the Bank of England was established. This bank had similar goals to the Swedish Riksbank. These early central banks began to set themselves apart from other banks by gaining exclusive rights to issue banknotes within their territories. In the beginning, various private banks issued banknotes. However, as time passed, central banks started to gain control over this important function. For instance, the Banque de France was created in the year 1800. By the year 1848, it had obtained a monopoly on note issuance for the entire metropolitan territory of France. This shift towards centralizing note issuance was driven by a few key reasons. Governments wanted to stabilize their currency, manage their debts more effectively, and reduce the chaos that came from competing private banknotes. In the United States, the situation was a bit more complicated at first. The first Bank of the United States was chartered in the year 1791. It was modeled after the Bank of England but did not have a full monopoly on currency issuance. State banks were still allowed to issue their own notes. It was not until later that the federal government began to take more control over currency issuance. This became especially clear during the Civil War, when the government suspended the gold standard and issued federally backed paper money known as Greenbacks. So, the monopoly on note issuance evolved gradually. It began in the late 1600s with the establishment of central banks in Europe and became more firmly established throughout the 1800s. This development marked a key stage in the evolution of modern currency systems, moving from a mix of private banknotes to centralized, government-backed money issued by central banks.